Hey, hi folks. Hey, Roland Martin here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to show you how to prevent bad disasters with your line. Line twist on spinning reels. It's easy to prevent. There's a couple easy steps I'm going to point out. I'm going to show you exactly how to prevent this in the future. Let's get started. Well, first, I'm going to see if I can get this line twist out. Now, that's a really bad line twist. Let me just show you a little secret that I do. I take my drag and loosen my drag way up, okay? Loosen my drag up. And now I start pulling the line off the standard way, just pulling it out. Pull it out some more. I'm pulling it out, I'm pulling it off the reel, okay? Now, I got it down below where there's any line twist. Okay, let me tighten the drag up. Let me tighten the drag up. Now let me pull this line. It's all messed up. Let me pull it through the grass. Okay, I'm taking this line and I'm just gonna let it feed off this reel, okay? It's coming off the reel right now, okay? And it's in the grass, it's in the grass, it's in the grass, it's feeding off in the grass. Now that's really kind of a neat deal because it's coming off in the grass, and I'm gonna come around and I'm gonna drag it around, and I'm gonna drag it through the grass, and I'm gonna make a circle, okay? I'm coming right by my little tracker. Now you can do this in the water too, but I'm letting out a lot of line now, okay? Okay, I'm gonna get back out on the dock, and I'm gonna start pulling the line through the grass, and it'll untwist the line. That's so cool. It'll untwist the line. Let me get it back on this tripod and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now I've got the line back on the reel, and I'm going to reel it up. I'm going to reel it up. Reel it up. Okay. I'm reeling it up. I'm reeling it up. And if you notice, the line is not twisted now because it's come through the grass, and you notice it's kind of laying kind of limp. Okay, it's pretty limp. Okay. Pretty limp. Okay. The line is pretty much straightened out. Now, okay, it's ready to go. Now that brings us to the main issue here. Why did it twist in the first place? Well, there's two main reasons why it twists. Number one, drag, a lot of excessive drag, slipping, number one. And number two, a lure that revolves and spins either through the air when you cast it or in the water while you retrieve it. And I got solutions for both of that. Okay, number one, right now the drag is about right. Now every time that this drag pulls out, let me just explain this. Every time this drag pulls out one revolution, which is there, it makes a loop. It makes the line go in one loop. It made one loop like this right here. That's what it did right there. That's that when I pulled it one time. I'm going to pull it a second time. Okay, here's a second loop. Okay, see that? See that? It's making loops right now. It's making loops right now. I'll pull it a third time. Watch this. It made another loop. So what's happening is every time you pull the drag and the drag slips, it makes a loop in the line. Now, some lines are worse than others. For this happens to be monofilament. It's a fairly heavy monofilament. It twists pretty easily. Fluorocarbon's even worse. However, braid's better. Now, we'll get into all that later. So, okay, again, to get that out, again, what I do, now, if I'm in a boat and I have line twists like this, what I can do in the boat is, like here in this canal, you notice there's a little bit of current. I can feed it out in the current. I can feed it out, and I can get this line twist. It's already twisted. I can get it out in the water. See how I'm doing it? I'm just pulling it out in the water, and the water's kind of pulling it down. Okay. Okay, it's coming out. Now it's a good line coming off the reel. Now I want to reel it in. Watch this. I reel it in the current, and the current straightens the line out. It lets it revolve in the current, and now, and if I were working in a boat, I've eliminated the line twist. So what I've done here, I've either dragged it in the grass and pulled out the line twist, or I've let it out in the water and pulled out the line twist. By the way, that's my next door neighbor. He has a shooting range. Don't worry about the shooting you hear. But anyway, that's one way to eliminate line twist. Okay, you do it by pulling the line off. Now, here's the thing. You have to address line twist. If you have a lot of line twist, you're going to have nothing but problems, because what happens with line twist is really, really bad. And let's just go one step farther. Okay, I explained that the line twist, the first main source of line twist in a spinning reel is from a drag that turns and slips, okay? And I showed you how to get it out. Okay, now the second way that line does twist is with, say, an inline spinner, like the lure itself. Either as it throws through the air, it spins through the air as you cast, or in the water as you retrieve it. This is an inline spinner bait, and if you notice, if you watch the spinner, you'll see that the shaft of the spinner, it actually revolves. It's hard to see it, but this is like a MEP spinner. This happens to be a Vibrex spinner. And again, this is a great thing for bass in the springtime. It's a great lure for smallmouth bass and creeks. It's a great trout lure. Inline spinners are like the MEP spinner and the Vibrex spinner have been around a long, long, long time, and they're very, very effective, but they do twist your line. How do you prevent that? Well, let me just show you something about swivels. You can use a swivel, but let me just tell you about a swivel first. I got a couple swivels in my pocket. Now here's a swivel, for example. It's a Spro swivel, a very high quality Spro swivel. And if you notice, they're all rated. You want to get a swivel that has a rating on it. Now this one, if you notice right here, it says it's rated for 13-pound test. That's not very much. That's a swivel designed for a blade on a spinnerbait. That's not a spinner designed for, say, a lure, because you'd often have a fish on or a line on that's be more than 13-pound test, and so consequently 13-pound test won't get the job done. Here is another swivel. Here's another Spro swivel. It's a very, very different type of swivel. It's a power swivel. And you notice it's rated at 70 pounds. Look at the rating, it's 70 pounds. Okay, now here's one from Bass Pro Shop. Here's a Dual-Lock snap swivel from Bass Pro Shop. Now look at that rating. It's rated at 30 pounds, 30-pound rating. So whenever you buy your swivel, get one that's rated and make sure it's rated for something higher than what you have to work with. Okay, let's just take that Spro 70-pound swivel, and I'm going to tie it on the line. Okay, now I've put the Dual-Lock, the heavy-duty swivel from Spro on. That's a 70-pound swivel. Now it does increase the profile of the lure, but it's not too bad. It's still a small swivel for as strong as it is. Now let's just see how it does now. That's going to be a lot better deal. Let's make a few casts and see if it spins the line. Okay, I made one cast. It looks like it's judging to see if it's revolving. I don't see it. It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Make a nice long cast, and let's just see if there's any spin to the line. You can pull the line off and just hold it loose, and you can see if there's a twist to the line. And if there is, you got to address that. You just can't let the line keep twisting, because you're going to run into all kind of problems. Okay, let's just slacken the line up and look. Okay, look at that. It's nice and straight. It doesn't flip over. So it's not twisting. It's not twisting. If it were twisting, like if I pull the drag, for example, now it twists. See that? Just from that one time I pulled the drag, it twists the line. And I'll do it again. I'll twist the line right here. Now watch it. Watch the line go. It twists around a couple of revolutions because the spool turned a couple revolutions. Well, 2 little twists to the line is not too bad. So to avoid that is when you run your bait, if you have a lot of drag going on, you got a line twist problem. So go ahead, if you fight a big fish and you got a lot of twisting going on and a lot of drag pressure going on, hey, you're going to have to dress your line, let it out in the grass, let it out in the stream, and fix that line twist. Because what happens, let me just explain something. What happens with line twist is if I make a cast and for some reason there's a little piece of line sticking out, watch this, okay, it starts to twist right now. So that's a bad deal. I'm trying to make it twist. what to do when you try to get the line twist out. Remember, you always have to do it with the drag. You always have to pull it out this way. This is the only way to get the little loops out. Now, what I'm trying to get also in there, and what happens with spinning, is if you don't watch in between casts, and it probably won't happen while I'm doing it because the line's not twisted. But when it is twisted, what happens is you make a long cast and you flip your bail over on kind of a slack line, and it forms a little loop. There's a little loop that forms on the spool. And when that little loop is sticking out, you know you've seen them before, you don't think too much about it. You might open your bail and pull your line out or make another cast. I would advise not making another cast. I would advise not pulling the line off the spool. I would advise loosening your drag and pulling it out that way. That is a much safer way to go. Because once you start pulling it out to get to the loop, a whole lot of line might come off and you have a bigger mess than you wanted to deal with. So if you see a line loop, pull it off, loosen your drag, and pull it out. Okay. So if you want to have some really kind of twist-free advice, number one, I showed you how to avoid those line disasters like will often occur when you have your drag too loose, or what often happens when you have a spinner or some type of a bait without the proper swivel, and you have to have this proper swivel. All that's a big deal with spinning tackle. I love spinning tackle. I love what it does. Hey, folks, I've told you my secrets now. I can tell you more secrets, and I'll have them coming along. And I tell you, it's good. I'm an old school teacher at heart, so I like doing this, and this is a big deal. Okay, folks. Hey, thanks for watching my YouTube channel, and I hope you get something out of this. Remember, line twist. It's a disaster, but here's how to avoid it. Okay, we'll see you again soon, and thanks for watching.